'cause it's heavy, heavy friending. There is an eagle flying.
Yeah!
Hey, ho, 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 he, hey, we won, you lost, we won, you lost,
Okay.
you lost.
This is
You're
gloating.
a loser. You're a loser. You're a big, fat loser. Welcome to Heavy Friending.
Guys, hi.
Hey, hi, Joe.
Hi, my name's Joe.
Yeah, your name is Joe. Thank you. My name's Laura. Nice to see you.
What if I was replaced by a robot and I never told you?
I would hate that. I would hate that. We all know robots don't have penises.
Well,
That would
the
ruin a
good
lot
ones
of our
do.
dynamic.
the
Top
best
of the
ones.
line ones do.
You gotta get a robot with a penis. And
Yes, this
we're
is Heavy Friending, Austin's
hoping-
number one friendship-based podcast.
We like to talk about robot penises, and that's really
Well, just
important.
penises in general. We
Yeah.
don't have to qualify it. Okay, that's weird what you just did. And I hate that you did it right now because the listeners can't see it.
Well,
and it's distracting.
It seems like
Frankly.
something happened to Laura on her end, but guys, this is a
Okay.
friendship-based
All right.
podcast. It's a lot of fun. Laura and I, we didn't know each other when we started this journey,
No.
and now we're really close. We can see
Yeah.
each other over Zoom. Unfortunately, we aren't in each other's auras.
Well, some would say that you're practically in my room right now. It's like you're almost in my house.
Interesting. Do you have a pencil?
Yes.
What are you doing? Were you writing?
I was just I was just drawing a heart. I was
Why?
just doodling. I have a lot of energy. Why? What's it to you? Okay, listen, motherfucker. There's a new sheriff in town, okay? And your little white man ways of questioning and dictating are at an end, okay?
Okay. Who did
so
we
get
elect?
used to it.
Who did
all
we
right?
elect? What race, what ethnicity, and what gender is our president?
Almost choked just now because I got so excited when I took that inhale.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Joe Biden. But listen.
He's white
he's
and
old.
he's a man.
He's old and it's Kamala. It's Mamala. Oh, it's when
Mamala.
she walked out on that stage. Let's talk about that. Let's just start with that. When she walked out on that stage to Beyonce, I lost it. I cried harder than I've cried in maybe a year. And you know I cry every single day.
Yeah, you cry
I
a
cried
lot.
so hard, my glasses fogged up. I cried like this. I heaved. I was going, that is how much I felt when that boss ass bitch walked out in that white fucking pantsuit with that a beautiful silk bow tie, pussy bow ass scarf around her neck and slayed her speech. And I thought, well, she shouldn't have gone before Joe. And then Joe came out. And Joe fucking wowed me.
Joe, he did an old
my
man
God.
jog. He did an old man jog.
And he jogged
and then
for a while.
He shouted his speech at us, and it was moving. I've never been moved.
I think
by-
it was the best speech he's ever given in his life, frankly.
I don't know. But back to Kamala, as I like
let's
to
get
call
back
her.
to her. Yes. Mamala.
I personally, I don't know if you know this, but I am a white man.
yes.
I
Hetero.
I found it incredibly moving when the camera cut to the little girls in the audience.
Oh, man.
And
Don't get me started.
it was so beautiful to just...
Yes.
And I do think, white guys probably have taken that for granted.
Well, I
But
heard
then
y'all are going to be extinct soon.
Well,
If we're not careful.
I mean, in many ways...
That's the word
it
on the
might-
street.
It might help the world if...
Well, I didn't say it.
There's some good ones. Hashtag not all white men. I hope to be spared when they start making those decisions. But, it's almost
keep
like a
you for
Noah's...
breeding stuff,
it's,
you know?
It's like a Noah's Ark situation to me. And I hope to be the one on the Ark.
Well, no, you'll be on it. You'll be in a cage, and they'll use you for breeding purposes.
That sounds perfect. That
I
sounds
think
ideal.
they probably wouldn't use your full DNA, they probably cross you with someone more strong
My full DNA.
and capable.
What parts of my genetics do you think they would most admire?
I personally, your intellect, your wit,
Oh,
your sort of. I'm trying to think of a way to say this.
yeah, you said one thing and now you're struggling.
Okay,
so
well,
that's interesting.
No, I know the next thing. I'm just trying to say it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm being insulting, because I'm not, and I mean this in a good way.
I mean,
what
again,
I'm
that
gonna say.
seems like a
So-
little bit of a red flag. It seems
Well,
like it
just
should be a
like-
positive. Number 2 should be no doubt a positive.
Okay,
We're
it
already
is a-
questioning if it's positive, but
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
intellect and wit are two different things, sir. Okay, so those were 2 things. The third thing, I wanted to say, like, about the way in which that you're, in some ways, you have a feminine nature about you, but like in a good way. So I didn't want to say that in a, like, I was trying to think of synonyms, like
Okay.
demure. That's not the word I'm looking for. Like motherly. That's not the word I'm looking for. Like
No, 'cause
nurturing or calm, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
But
know.
I don't take that actually, that I don't find that insulting at all. I
Great.
think,
Okay, good. So
I
good.
did. It's so funny that these supposed stereotypes of women about them being emotional and
Mm-hmm.
unprepared to lead our country. It's like,
Have
I don't
somehow-
think those stereotypes don't apply. I think they definitely apply to people like, I don't know, Lindsey Graham or
Yes.
President Donald Trump, much
Yeah.
more than I've seen them apply to a woman. I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at the women, you have Hillary Rodham,
And,
Clinton.
and God bless her
You
and
have
what she's been through.
Kamala.
And I hope she gets some peace.
Kamala,
now.
I don't see her, crying.
know what this is? This is
you have
when,
guys you have guys like Brett Kavanaugh crying practically.
crying. Why are they always crying? They're always crying. But you know what I think this is? That like this moment right now is like, when you watch Star Wars and the Jedis who have passed, but they're just like lights, like a ray of light around them, and then like their job is like kind of done, and they just kind of like go,
Yeah, I love it.
I feel like Hillary, that's Hillary right now, just like with politics. So I feel like now
Well-
that this has happened, she can just go like, thank you. You've released me. You've released me.
Ruth
know.
Bader Ginsburg was already released.
Well, she fucked us. She fucked us good. And we'll see if we can work our way out of that. But we are celebrating. We're
This
not
is a
going to talk about
celebratory-
negative things. We won. They lost. They're big fat losers. They're big crybaby snowflake losers. And we're the big winners. And we get to rub it in their little fucking red faces.
Okay.
You know?
Well, my president, Joe Biden, said we need to unite. We need to compromise. We need to come together as one. And
okay. You put the emphasis on come.
I think it's important to recognize
To come
that,
together, yeah.
that Joe Biden is our first Joe B president, but not our
Interesting.
last. And I wish he would have said that, because Kamala said that
she
in her
did,
speech.
yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I may be the first woman, I'm not the last." And then Joe Biden
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
up there, and I'm like, "I'm a Joe B,
Oh,
my
yeah,
friend."
yeah.
And then he never said, "I'm not the last Joe B president."
Yeah,
So now I'm
yeah.
worried that maybe I won't be the next Joe B president.
I think
because
you
maybe
should
there
be
won't
worried.
be one.
I think you should be worried, but I would be happy to have you as my vice president for sure. And so
I would love to be your vice president, because
I think we would be a great, I mean, really, honestly, all jokes aside, I think we'd be a great fucking team.
I think this isn't a joke at all. I think this is the beginning, because you and I, by 2024, not to put age numbers and things,
Would
but
be old enough.
I'll certainly be old enough.
And that means I'll be old enough.
Yes. So,
And it's one of those things where there was a time when it wasn't a possibility for people like you and me. There was no way that it was going to happen for us. And now we know after Trump that there is a possibility we could be president one day. There's nothing that would preclude us from becoming president. There's no skeleton in our closet as big as any of the multiple skeletons that are hanging on various hangers within his closet. We could be.
yeah.
I could be president. Okay?
Well,
Wow.
there's no evidence that
And that's when the caging will begin.
I mean,
Yes,
we
yes,
still
yes.
haven't broken that glass ceiling of you being president.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it? Aliens.
That's probably the final one, though. Once you break through, then women can do anything.
And they will say, well, if that woman could do it, any of us could do it.
Is it wrong that there's a part of me that's a little bit jealous that there's not really anything I could do and be like the first white man to do that thing? Like, what could I do that I would be like, ladies and gentlemen, I may be the first white man to do this act, but I will not be the last.
Well, give birth to a baby. You could 100% do that.
I
That
think
could
there
be your
was.
thing.
I think there was a guy on Dr. Phil.
A genetically born male with testicles who gave birth to a
I don't
baby.
remember the details, but I feel like it's been done on Dr. Phil.
Okay, let's think. Have a period? Maybe we could work on that.
Is that these are genetic things? I don't know.
Well, it's all
That's not what I'm
genetic based for
talking
me
about.
because those are the only things a man hasn't done. Y'all do everything. You do everything and you take everything and you go, oh no, we're the only ones. And you get so scared if anybody else is going to do it. It's
That's
like
true.
it's like those people who are like, I don't want these clothes anymore. And then you're going to give them away. And then somebody else comes to say, oh, I like this. And now you want it back because you can't stand it when someone else has something.
Oh.
You can't stand it. Well, guess what? It's a new world, bitch. It's a new world, and it's a woman's world now.
Okay.
You better get used to it, Joe Barlow.
I think I'll be okay because, as you mentioned earlier, I have feminine, or however you phrased it, I have that, and I acknowledge that, and also I honestly I see that as a point of pride. I'm glad I'm not just another. You know what? One thing I love is when people aren't stereotypes. So, for instance, like I loved when one time I saw a Bernie bumper sticker on this like gigantic truck. And I was like, yeah, way to go. Because I saw the truck and I assumed, I made assumptions.
But then you realize it was a Bernie bro, and then you realize
And then
it
I was
a
like, it's a
stereotype.
Bernie bro. I like that.
Yeah.
That's not what I assumed you were.
Yeah.
But I like that. So I feel like I like that I'm a straight white male, but I don't think I'm your typical. I think when people say straight white male, they think of certain things, and I'm not necessarily all those things.
You're not those things, and I know a lot of. And listen, I think men are not as great as women, and everyone knows that I think that, and it is what it is. I'm sorry. I only
Everyone
speak
does know
the
that.
truth,
Yeah.
but I can say genuinely, I know some wonderful men in my life who would stand up and fight alongside me when the war comes where the women take over and we have to enslave the men. And I think they will join our ranks. And because of it, they will be spared. So keep that in mind.
Well, I won't fight alongside you.
Well, yeah, you'll probably do something in like an office, like sort of a clerical job. But I think that's fine.
And that's where my strengths lie.
Yeah,
I don't think they lie on the battlefield.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
Like-
I don't have organizational skills. I'm not good in an office environment.
Yeah, it's kind of like hard where we'd find a place for you. But I know what you could do. You could get coffee and stuff for people.
I could definitely do that. I was
coffee
thinking
runs.
maybe the like something with PR, the public relations team.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we want a man speaking for us.
Well, I could
but,
mansplain.
it's-
I could do that. That'd be
Yeah.
helpful.
I don't know if that is what we'd be looking for, but we'll talk about it. You and I have 4 years to talk about, all these other people, it's always like, it's a year before or whatever, and they start figuring out their what's going to be our mission statement, what's going to be our plan for taxes, blah, blah. We have 4 years to plan all this stuff, and we have so much time to get our shit together and get this little campaign rolling. I say we start now.
Well, don't you think maybe we should plan on 8 years because Joe Biden is going to run for re-election. We don't want to step on his toes.
Well, all right. Let's be honest. How do you feel about that? Because how old is he going to be in 4 years?
I mean, he's going to be too old.
Do you think he wouldn't run? He'll probably say, and Kamala will,
Well, I think people already assume that it will be Kamala.
Oh, God, what a day. I got to tell you, I mean, as a female, a lot of us cried when we watched Wonder Woman in theaters. And everyone thought that was so crazy. You know why they thought it was crazy? Because they've been watching superhero movies with dudes with dicks for their whole fucking life. And that was a moment that I had never seen before. Okay. And it brought me, like, I just thought of myself as a little girl and like how much I was a huge Wonder Woman fan as a kid. And I just thought about like how it just would have meant so much to me as a kid to see something like that, and how I had to wait like 30 years to see something like that. How fucking bizarre that is. And so watching Kamala walk across that stage was like, first of all, like 4 years of shit lifted off of me. And I cried like this relief cry, like of like when you get the good news, you know? And then at the same time, I like cried for myself as a kid. I like cried for like a part of me that had like all these dreams and didn't know that what was ahead, and didn't know that there was this difference that I was going to be treated any differently or have different opportunities or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I cried for that little girl and thinking like, God, I wish that little girl could see this right now. And it was like, I mean, all jokes aside, it was a powerful moment. And I know it was like my girlfriends were texting like, I am fucking losing my shit. Like we were all just sobbing. I know a lot of women across this country had the same feeling. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I definitely, you know, watching the Obama one, 8 year or 4, 12 years ago.
Well, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, 12 years ago. That was so moving.
Yeah.
But I mean, yesterday it felt less moving to me. But again, maybe I felt the same way about the Obama one, was when you see the candidate reflected in the eyes of the people watching. You know, for Obama, it was like you see Oprah Winfrey crying. You see other just people who never thought they would see the day where a black man was elected president in this country. And the same thing with like, I love seeing the daughters and their moms, or the daughters and their dads just looking up. And I think even for little boys too, like, I think this is going to be a really great thing for them to experience, where
I agree.
They hopefully, when they're our age, they won't even then, you know, it's not even a question. It's like, well, the first memory I have of a vice president, it was Kamala. And, you know, that was just the way it was. So you sort of don't realize that was a fresh thing because you were a kid and that was all you knew.
Yeah.
And I think probably the same thing with Obama, where people don't, you know, the young people probably don't realize how incredible that was. So I think it's great. And I don't think I definitely didn't feel the connection that I think you and other women had, and especially women of color. But I felt it by seeing how it affected other people.
Yeah. What's Donna Brazile, who was the head of the DNC for a long time, she was on CNN right after he was announced as the winner. And God, she was saying, like, she was crying, and she was saying, like, my mom and my grandmother couldn't vote. Like, God, like, what a moment that is. And so, yeah, there's some stuff going on right now. We have haters. We will always have haters. But we have this moment, and they can't take this moment away from us of what has happened here. We won. We won. Oh, we won! Fuck yeah, motherfuckers. It feels good. It feels good. I still hate America, but goddamn, I hate it a little bit less today.
Well, it is amazing how an event does sort of bring you back. I mean, obviously, for anyone who voted for Trump, they feel the opposite. But you do kind of, you're like, okay.
And I love that.
We have, because to me, it was startling the number that he still got. Because before the election, I was like,
and I hate that.
No one, I was like, Trump didn't expand his numbers. He's only made more enemies. You know, he's caused more problems. So if anything, his already small number is going to get smaller.
Right.
Because what has he done? How has he benefited anyone? So those numbers are shocking. The fact that he's gotten more votes than any, Joe Biden's gotten the most votes of any presidential candidate, and Donald Trump has the second most votes. That's
but I guess
startling...
what that does say is that it is a testament to how little people vote in this country. Like, the reason they got more than any president is because they knew that this was like they had to fucking vote. But think about it. People just aren't fucking voting, and with the voter suppression we have and stuff and the gerrymandering, I think it would be a bigger blowout than what it, I think there would be a much bigger difference in the number of votes between each candidate if there wasn't the voter suppression situation that we have in this country. And it's bad. It's very bad what we have.
And this year, especially with, the deadlines of doing mail-in ballots, I'm sure probably a lot of people would have maybe wanted to mail-in ballot.
Well, also they were changing this is what's so fucked up is I know that they were going to court to try to change the deadline for when they would accept a mail-in ballot after they've already told people this is the date. You can't do that. And the same thing happened to my sister's husband. He voted in Houston in a drive-through, and he already voted. And they were like, well, it's not going to be, they're going to get rid of it. So they take it to court. But they were going to take it to court and rule on it after he would have time to be able to vote.
Right.
So they find a way.
120,000 people voted in Houston, and they wanted to get rid of those votes. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Why don't they want us to vote? Think about it, people. Think about it.
Why.
So for me, in a lot of ways, it's only a positive. I mean, we only have a bright future to look forward to. They don't want us to vote because they know there's more of us. All right. That's a good thing. Right. They wouldn't be going to the lengths they go to stop us from voting if they didn't know that. They know it. We all know it. And also, every single day, new babies are born and these old motherfuckers die. And we only get more progressive and we only get more liberal. And so they're dying. They know they're dying. And this is their big extinction cry. And I know one dinosaur who's having a real big cry the last few days. He's just sobbing. Yeah. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I am living for this moment.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
We have one of the oldest senates.
I thought you were going to say president that's about to be sworn in.
Well,
but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. No, we have one of the oldest senates in history of this country. Mm-hmm. And I really do, like, I know we're joking about running for president and stuff, but like there is I wasn't joking. There's a huge part of me that goes, people our age need to run for office. Like AOC shouldn't be the only 31-year-old who is making an impact. And I'm like, I really don't think I would be a good candidate, even though part of me would sort of probably enjoy it. Because I think I would like to do certain parts of that job. Like I would like to, when I get asked a dumb question, be just like, that's a stupid question. Like there were but I wouldn't like the work. We need someone who would go there
I want to
and
be
read
like
the shit, have like a thorough understanding of stuff. Like I want the nerd in class who did all the homework. That's who we need. And we need them to be our age, because people in their 70s,
I don't think the president needs to be the nerd. I think the president's cabinet and the people they appoint and the senators.
No, I'm not talking about president. I'm talking about Senate. I'm talking about the Senate.
You know what I want to be? I want to be like the Democrats' answer to Donald Trump. I want to be the antithesis, but like the one that just, when they go, oh, she says what we're thinking. And I can just be like, you're trash. You're trash. You're garbage. I want to be that person. And I would enjoy that. And I think I would thrive.
I think you would enjoy that.
And I think I would thrive.
I don't know if that appeals to, although maybe that does. Maybe like that would
There's
awaken
a lot of
something.
us out that are like, fuck motherfuckers,
Because I think liberals tend to like try and like, bring everything down and speak, logically and not emotionally.
But the statement that you are trash is a logical statement. And that's the thing, is it's true. So anyway, but we can, agree to disagree. And we can get into it when we talk about like our policies and what we're going to do when we run.
We're not even disagreeing. I don't think we're disagreeing.
Okay.
See, that's the good thing.
But that's a phrase that you say when you're in politics,
In our dynamic,
can agree to disagree.
I'm the good cop.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And you're the one who says you're trash. And then I say, I'm
Well,
Mike
you
Pence.
are.
I'm Mike Pence, because I'll be like, no, what the president was saying was that she was upset by the trash-like qualities.
The trash-like way that you are.
Yeah. And then they would be like, oh, okay, he's a little more calm about it.
Right.
And then you would just go fire off tweets. I think you would be
and
much
I would
better.
fire off tweets. I would be on Twitter like rage tweeting. Am I the female Democrat Donald Trump?
I think you would be good you would be better in the multimedia sense, because Trump basically fires off text, right? What president, I should say, Madam President
Thank you.
Laura.
Well, I want to be called
do-
sir. I don't want it to be gendered. Well, I just don't want it to be gendered.
Sir
you know?
President Laura?
Or just, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay. What Sir President Laura would do is you would make a little video and you'd say,
a rant.
hey, you're trash, because you understand the media ecosystem. CNN can throw a tweet on the screen, but you know what CNN really wants to do? They want to throw up a video of Sir President Laura saying, Congressman whatever is trash.
Trash, garbage, doo-doo feces. That would be a big one.
That's better. That's so much better than a tweet, because you can only make caps lock only makes the letters so big. But you can scream at a phone.
I love
and then
to scream
tweet that
too.
video.
Yeah. Sometimes I just scream when I'm alone by myself. I just scream as loud as I can into my pillow. Sometimes I moan too. So yeah, I think it's all great and good, and I'm really excited about what we're going to do. I've got a lot of ideas and things that I want, things I want to change.
Well, they talk about, your 100-day policy.
Yeah.
What are you going to try and do in your first 100 days?
Well, I want Dillard's to be the official, I want to make a lot of legislation around Dillard's, the department store, because it's my favorite department store. So I want to put that on the agenda. Also, I would like to legalize all drugs.
Can we pause?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think we need a little more clarification on Dillard's, because I don't think there's a lot of policy. Whoa, excuse me.
Okay, well, listen. First of all, if you're going to be the sophisticated one, we're going to have to work on that. Okay,
well,
you
I
can't
won't
just
drink
be burping.
so much gin.
Well, I'm the one who burps.
Gin.
You are taking the wrong role here. Okay, you're classy. You can't do that. Okay,
that squeaked
I'll
out.
replace you with another guy with glasses and a beard.
No. I'm the best one.
Okay.
I think with Dillard's, and we'll edit that all out, I'm sure.
Well, no.
But
and I'll probably enhance the burp.
We should probably
Maybe
edit
do a
it
slow-mo of it.
Policy.
Policy.
You should add a tiger roar under it, so it like it came from within. I think a lot of presidents don't necessarily have legislation that relates specifically to one department store.
Exactly. And that's another thing, is I want to be innovative. I don't want to just do what they've all done before, because clearly what they've done before isn't working for us.
But what are you regulating?
Okay, I want Dillard's to be the official store that first of all, this is another thing. I think everyone in Congress, in the Senate, everywhere should be wearing a uniform. I don't want to see their fucking suits and their fancy clothes. I think everyone should look exactly the same. And like how they do in England in their court system, how the barristers wear those stupid fucking wigs on their heads and they all wear the same exact thing, so that there's no they have a fancy suit. There's no bias in that way. So I think Dillard's could dress all of the Congress people in the same thing.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's probably a top priority for a lot of voters.
I don't care what their top priority
you thought
is,
I was
because
being
guess
sarcastic.
what? I don't care what their top priority is, because you know why? They clearly have fucked up priorities, because half of this country voted for Donald Trump. So I can't trust what their priorities are. I can't trust them. It's clear to me now that I can't trust them, and I have to know what I know and go with my judgment.
Let me pitch something.
And that's why they'll elect me. So.
Sir President, let me pitch something to you.
Yes.
And I could head
Madam
this
Barlow.
up.
Yes.
Well, okay.
You don't want to be that?
I'd not
Madam
really.
Vice President?
Not really.
Okay. What do you want to be called?
I think just Admiral.
Okay. Yes, Admiral.
Was that because is that what remember the neighbor in Mary Poppins? Was he just called Admiral or?
You know, I don't have the same amount of specific Mary Poppins knowledge that you have, and that's another reason. That's another sort of aspect about you, is that why that you won't be murdered in the big uprising of women. Yes.
And that also is like a way I'm more relatable to working class people. Is I know a lot of musicals. I know
definitely.
Fiddler on the Roof. Of
yes,
course.
Well, we know that, of course.
Tevye,
of course. Laser Wolf, of course. You know what I like is that every season of this show, there's one stupid, horrible joke that we repeat so many times. And I like that during the pandemic it's become Tevye and Laser Wolf.
What have the other ones been?
Well, David Foster.
Oh.
Okay. I think Fuck Local was one for a while.
Oh, yeah. That was the original, I would say.
Yeah, that was OG. Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, here's my pitch.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of Donald Trump's major achievements that I think people from both parties agree was really impactful on everyone's lives and made this country safer was the founding of Space Force. And so he's already tackled the final frontier, which of course is space. So what is the President
disagree.
Laura Lee Bishop's administration going to tackle? And here's what I say. Here's what I say. You can disagree after I say. Mm-hmm. And what I say is we got to go under the sea.
Oh, I was going to say under the sea, but I was going to say underground, like Jules Verne, like Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Journey to the Center of the Earth. No, I was going to say Scuba Force.
Okay.
And
Scuba
everything
Force.
is
Terranean.
Ocean. Was it Terranium is underground, right?
Is it? I don't know.
Because I think
subterranean bunker. Yeah. And we'll and you guys don't worry if you're listening right now and you're like, oh shit, they don't know whether they're going to go under the ground, under the ocean. We're going to hammer this stuff out. The difference in what we do and what they do is we're just telling you like our thoughts as we go. We're not going to go, oh wait 3 years and then we'll put it on our website like a week before the election. No. You're going to know all our thoughts as we go. You're going to know all the little things we come up with. So.
Well, and Trump doesn't have the guts to open up his brainstorming process because he has like stupid ideas. Occasionally they come out in the press. We're putting them out ourselves, which is the best way to do that.
Yeah. Well, he also, I mean, I don't want to discount him. He does put a lot of his stupid ideas out himself.
So you hold on to go back. You disagree that Space Force
I disagree
helpful?
that it's the final frontier. I was going to say, I believe the final frontier is digging down into the earth and finding, a hidden world that we haven't explored yet. And so, yeah.
Okay. I do think, and maybe we can combine them.
Yeah.
And maybe it would just be
Well, maybe we go into the
something.
ocean and we get to the bottom of the ocean and then we go down even further. So yeah, I'm totally, I think and this is why I think it's going to work. It's like you have an idea and then we build on it, and we do it together. And so, and that's another thing. A lot of these people, they start their presidential campaign and they're like, oh, you'll nominate me and then I'll figure out. Who's it going to be? Oh, I'm going to pick this person because they have, they're going to help me in this state or whatever for this political reason. No.
Right.
I'm picking someone who is going to build my agenda with me, who understands how much I like Dillard's. Well, and who gets that stuff. So
they say the road to the White House travels through Iowa. Who knows Iowa?
That's true.
Better than a graduate of the prestigious Drake University.
School of Mass Communication and Journalism.
If we both tackle it together, as opposed to the way they currently do it, where it's one candidate. No, we say it's vice president and president. I'm going to be in this corner of Iowa. You're going to be in that corner. We'll meet in the middle and we'll hang out in Des Moines. And I'll show you some of the places that I remember.
Yeah, I would love to see those places. You know, we're going to have some stuff come back to bite us, though, because I'm pretty sure I've said some stuff about Iowa on this. What do you
program. What have you said?
I just know I've said some stuff. I think I've said some stuff about like, oh, you guys, like you're all white and you all, you have no culture. I think I did say that. Like there's no culture.
Both of those things sound familiar.
Yeah. When they clearly do have a culture. I mean, it's like they hate people of color and like gay people and women and stuff.
I actually,
so they
speaking
do.
Of,
it wasn't factual.
Speaking of having no culture, I saw a map today. One of these maps, I don't know how they do it, but it's like each state, it says what their favorite Thanksgiving side dish is.
Oh.
So like,
it's
I think
dressing in Texas.
Well, is that green bean casserole?
Dressing?
Yeah. What's dressing?
What do you call it?
You put dressing on a salad?
Wait, are you serious for real? I'm just wondering. Do you know what dressing is? Dressing.
I'm pretty sure the answer was green bean casserole.
Oh, well, that makes sense. But dressing is like what we make here, which is like cornbread based.
It's the, what's that called? Stuffing.
Celery and carrots. Well, it's different because stuffing goes inside your turkey and it's made with like bread, whereas dressing is made in a big dish with cornmeal. And it's just different. It's totally different. It's way better. Dressing is better. Anyway, green bean casserole, I do like that too. Okay, go ahead.
But the funny thing is, so like, Illinois was mashed potatoes because I looked at the states where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at some of the other states and I was like, oh, well, Idaho, what's Idaho going to be?
Well, potato based, right?
Yeah, you would assume, but it wasn't. It was
butter.
I think it might have been green bean casserole also.
Okay.
But then Iowa, which is the only state in the entire country that has this as their side, is...
It's not butter, right?
No, it's corn.
Corn.
Which is like the saddest thing because...
Like a corn on the cob?
It just said corn, which is like what you think of when you think of Iowa. You're like, oh, what's corn. Iowa known for? Oh, corn. And like even in Iowa, their culture is like, we like corn. I guess that's corn. Our that's most interesting thing about us. But
who compiled
even Idaho,
this data?
Idaho had the self-respect to not choose potatoes.
Who compiled this data? The same people who did the polls for this presidential election? Because I wouldn't trust it.
It was, I mean, who cares who did it? It's not important data.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's accurate data. And for me, that matters because I'm fact-based. And that is something I want to do. I want to run on the facts. I don't want to run on conjecture. Okay? So I would really like to know if that's true. We'll have our own, once we get our team together, we'll have them canvas and all that stuff. And we'll figure out. I want to know their favorite side dish. I want to talk to them about their favorite side dish. I care about their favorite side dish. If you're listening, I care about your favorite side dish.
Right.
I want to know what it is. And maybe I want to eat it. Maybe I want to add it to my Thanksgiving meal. So yeah. I want to hear you. I want to listen. I don't want to just talk. I want to listen about, the different foods you like. And I honestly, food-based conversation, I love that. That's like right up my alley. Okay. I could talk about it all night.
I think that's really,
it's fun. It's fun for me.
Joe Biden talked about this country coming together. And I do think food is the ultimate uniter. I mean, yes. Donald Trump, I don't know if you remember, he said some things about Mexicans when he started his campaign.
With the tacos.
Yet he posted a photo of himself and a taco bowl, a delicious taco bowl. And that's the thing, is the food, despite its origin, we can all appreciate and enjoy different types of food because we all are fat.
Well, if we're lucky, we are.
What?
Have you had a Nervous Charlie's Bagels here in Austin?
No.
I think it's close to your house too. Oh, Joe, it's so good. I'm thinking about getting one tomorrow. I'm gonna get a Nervous Charlie's Bagel tomorrow, and I'm gonna drop off your camera, and I'm gonna grab a bagel. Maybe I'll get you one on the way. How about that?
Oh, Yeah, if you're going there, I thought that's
Yeah.
what you were going to say. I'm going to bring you a bagel.
No, I was thinking I would drop off the camera and if it's nearby, I'd grab a bagel, but I'm going to do it reverse.
This
And
is
I'll
so
get
much
you a
better.
fucking
Although,
bagel.
like I said, I mean, I've been eating so many carbs.
So you don't want the bagel then?
Well, I should have it.
Well, you should try it, definitely.
I should
they have
try
that.
it.
They have that. I'm not going to have that because I don't eat pork, but they have this special ham that comes from New Jersey. Well, it's all my Jersey family eats it. It's called, it's a certain kind of ham, and it's like really good that all of them like. And then they put it on a sandwich on there. I get the lox. Oh my God, it's so good. Anyway, I think I feel positive, feel happy. I'm glad that we did this. The bonus episode, I was a little bit, a little bit negative, a little bit angry. And I'm glad I got it out. And as usual, I start this show and I'm angry and I'm mad, and by the end of it, I'm having a good time talking about bagels. I mean, you can't be mad when you're talking about bagels. That is something we all have. No one doesn't like bagels. Okay. And that can be something we maybe incorporate.
Well, and this is our prescription to you because while we aren't doctors, we certainly are experts on friendship and the human condition.
Yes.
And so whether it is a literal bagel or it's your own version of a bagel, go out this week, enjoy your bagel.
Unless, listen, but I don't want to interrupt you, but unless it's one of those bagels where they hollow out the center. I mean, that's just so ridiculous.
It seems like you wanted to interrupt me. You said, I
it's
don't want to interrupt you.
I don't know why someone
did.
would do that. It just seems like a waste of good bagel. But anyway.
Now, explain, what do they hollow? What does that even?
Yes, that's the thing people are doing. They get in a bagel and they're hollowing out like the inside part so that they get rid of like the calories on it or whatever.
So there's a hole in the middle. You're not talking about that.
No, they're like going where the meat of the bagel is, and they're like they're like hollowing it out.
So you're basically only eating the like shiny shell.
Yeah. That's the fucking world we live in. Okay? That is where we've come. And in our America, there will be no such thing as a hollowed out bagel. Okay? I promise you that. I can promise the American people that right now. And I don't make hollow promises. Okay?
Well, okay, before we go.
Yeah.
I do think we need, because we obviously had Make America Great Again. That looked great on a hat. People shouted it. It had the acronym MAGA. That was a hashtag.
That almost sounds like maggot. It was
so
horrible
good.
acronym. Yeah.
And then, of course, Barack Obama had Yes, We Can and hope and change and all that. What would our thing be, our slogan? Because I think.
What if it's hi-fi?
Okay.
Hell yes. Fuck yes.
my
Hi-fi.
gosh. That's really good.
Okay. Cool.
That's really good. Because I was going to say full bagels, please.
Oh, well, that's a big one. That may resonate with more people.
Well, maybe that would be the re-election because obviously we got Keep America Great.
Yeah,
so maybe that's when you bring in the bagels.
Yeah.
And you say,
yeah.
We kept the bagels
Keep
full.
America's whole again.
The only hole we want is in the middle of the bagel, not scooped out from the middle of
The
the
only
bagel.
hole I want is in your wife, and it's more than one hole. It's all three of them. And we can make that into an acronym, I'm sure. I can't do it off the top of my head, but we'll have someone on staff to do it.
Well, we would need a graphic designer, too, to make it sort of like,
Well, if they could make a woman that's like bent over and then there's like a bagel, like where that would be. So, or even if there was like a penis through a bagel. I mean, there's a lot of, we'll have ideas. We have a lot of ideas. I don't want to, that's another thing. I don't want to just leave it up to the graphic designer. I want us to like come to the table with some stuff for sure.
You know what I just realized? Last time we talked about designing a flag for our stuff, people actually made our flag.
Well, we have not filled, I'll say this. We have not filled our cabinet positions. We do not have a staff yet. This is just, obviously in the early stages, and by early stages, we just in the last hour decided to do this. So if you want to be on the cabinet, if you could do a hi-fi sort of thing for us and something with a bagel and a woman. And I would like her either bent over or she's on her back and holding her ankles with her legs apart.
Oh, and I feel like if she's holding her ankles above her head, a flag could be, what's that?
Oh, I was thinking you could make her body into like a Y shape, but
Oh, no, I was
Yeah.
thinking you have a flag sort of coming off one of them, blowing in the breeze.
one of her feet. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that works. There's a lot of ways, and we'll get into the mud with it later. What is it? In the weeds.
Well, no, we'll get into
we're
the mud.
in the mud. We're getting the mud. Where we belong. All right. This has been Heavy Friending, Austin's number one friendship based podcast. And frankly, I think it's, we always say Austin. I think it's this the number one friendship based podcast. And thank y'all so much for listening. And, Laura Lee Bishop, Joe Barlow, 2024. Okay.
I think
High five.
if we went to Iowa now, those billboards are probably practically giving them away because they lost all that advertising money. So I think we could get this woman holding her ankles,
Yeah.
like in Iowa.
When we say woman, I mean, we're saying woman. We know it like it's me, right?
I don't think we can Photoshop because I think we need it to be. I think people need to be inspired by what they see, and they say, "My bush looks like that."
Oh, so you're saying that me without any Photoshop is extremely inspiring, my naked body.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
people will look at that and they'll say,
Thank
"That
you.
looks like my bush."
Well, I mean, they must have a problem then. Okay, sure.